And welcome into Making Sense. You know, over the years we hear about the fact that the interest rate at the federal level has been at 0%, and all of a sudden we talk, they may go up 1/4% or 0.5%. And everybody gets a little bit nervous here, but for a lot of our average viewers, 1/4% doesn't mean a lot, but does it mean a lot? So I brought in Brandt McDonald to kind of do a little analysis of this. You're McDonald Hagen Wealth Management.
Right.
Right here in Montgomery. You've been here, you've been in the business quite some time.
28 years.
28 years. Well,
Right. I've been managing money for 28 years.
You're getting right along there, buddy.
Yeah.
But you know, we hear about there was a 0% rate, and then you know the Fed's getting together and something's leaking out. It may go up 1/4%. What does that 1/4% really mean?
Wow. You know, when we talk about interest rates in general, it means so much to every one of us. There are a whole host of things that we get quite concerned about when we contemplate the idea of interest rates going back up, and some people call it rate normalization, whatever you want to call it. Either way, we believe rates are going higher. The primary reason is that I believe, based around Trump's policies and the things he wants to do, particularly fiscal stimulus. This is the big one. You know, if you think about a $1 trillion fiscal stimulus program that's built around infrastructure, that's $1 trillion, that's a lot of money. You take repatriation of corporate profits that are held overseas, even if you get $2 trillion back, and that goes into the system, the U.S. domestic system, now you're talking about $3 trillion of potential fiscal stimulus. The entire quantitative easing program was around $4.5 trillion.
Okay.
$3 trillion
and that was what, 10 years ago now?
That was after the financial crisis.
That's right before Obama came in first time.
That's right.
End of the Bush administration.
Exactly. To put this in perspective, the U.S. economy is $20 trillion in size. So $3 trillion in new cash is 15% the size of the U.S. economy. If you amortize 15% over a business cycle, say 7, 8 years, you can absolutely see where GDP could easily get back to 3%. Right.
And that's the gross domestic product. Okay,
gross domestic product, the actual size of the U.S. economy and how fast it's growing year over year. But simply put, as the velocity of money begins to pick up and you start to see budget deficits widening, which they will under Trump, I mean, this is something we need to be prepared for. Bringing down corporate tax rates, bringing down individual rates, and doing $1 trillion in fiscal stimulus around infrastructure is going to be create a situation where we're going to see the debt trajectory go even higher. But if you think about it, this is something that Reagan did. This is something that all presidents have done. Even Obama did $1 trillion when he came into office.
That's right.
So the key is how do you execute on it? If you borrow $1 trillion for, say, 30 years, and some are even talking about a new 50-year bond, treasury bond. If you borrow money for 30 years at, say, 3.5%, and you take that $1 trillion and invest in a company, or in this case, invest in a country, for new roads, bridges, hospitals, airports, all of that, you absolutely are going to see prices lift. And as prices lift, the Fed has to get up on curve with GDP. They can't sit where they are right now. We'll have a major inflation problem. So I am a believer that we're going to see rates begin to normalize. I don't think they're going to go through the roof, but they're absolutely going up. The next big move in rates is higher, not lower.
Right.
So as individuals, we have to be extremely mindful about how we manage our balance sheet. And this is going to impact everyone with respect to mortgages and the interest rate they're paying on their mortgage, their homes, particularly
if you buy a
car loans. Adjustable rate mortgages are something we're quite concerned about. And I'll tell you another area I'm concerned about. Even my business, all over this country, throughout the period of zero rates, particularly retirees, were starving for yield.
That's right.
And they were doing things that they would normally never do to try to get some sort of cash flow to subsidize retirement. Investing in various products, investing in different types of programs that are very complex that they don't really quite understand. And it's all worked out fine as long as rates stayed at zero. My fear is what happens when rates begin to go back up? How well are those products going to stay together? And so it's sort of like a clarion call, if you will, from our firm. we are not really shouting, but I'm trying to raise awareness with the public to review any of these types of products that you may or may not have purchased over the last 7, 8, 9 years, and make sure you understand what they are and why you own them, because when rates do go back up, they're going to be impacted in some kind of way. So that's important. So everything from, as I said, mortgages to car loans to student loan debt, whatever it is, now is the time to review everything you have in terms of balance sheet exposed items to interest rates.
To find out where it's going.
That's exactly
Absolutely.
right. Yeah.
You won't get stuck. That's the major thing. You don't want to find yourself all of a sudden going, oh my gosh, I didn't do this.
Yeah.
And
Wayne Gretzky said it best, never skate to where the puck is, skate to where it's going.
that's right.
And that's why he was so successful. And if you believe, like I do, that rates are going to go up over the next few years, skate to where the puck is going. What is that going to do to your personal balance sheet in a rising rate environment over the next few years?
Good. Thank you, Brandt, for coming in. We'll get you again next week. And just remember this, as he's talking about, don't be asleep at the switch. If you don't control the switch, get somebody like Brandt to hold that switch for you. And we'll be right back right after this.